G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. I've got my ZOHD Drift out again. It's the only craft, unfortunately, I've got at the moment that can use the high definition Walksnail FPV system. So if you've been following along with the previous video, I just purchased some True RC X2 Air patch antennas, and we kind of went out for a bit of a fly and just kind of tested the range out in the hills. Took it out to about 3 kilometers and it couldn't really go too much further because of the height, and the drift isn't the greatest plane, especially running only 2S in windy conditions. So 3 kilometers is where I got it out to quite easily, I felt. There was a few little dropouts here and there, but I think it was more because I wasn't in line of sight at the time. So today we've got a beautiful day. It's going to be one of the last we get because we're entering our rainy season pretty soon. So I've headed out to a beach just north of where I live, and we're going to try a semi-range test again, just basically to see how stable our connection is as we venture out. I figure the beach is the best place to do this because you shouldn't need to gain a great deal of altitude either, because signal bounces off the water. So effectively it should be better, and we should have a lot better range. So the FPV video is taken from the VTX, and just get your opinion. I've used gyro flow on this one here, that's why it's nice and smooth, just to yeah, I like to play around with things, so I thought I'd just try it on this one just to see how it would look. I think it looks pretty good, but I'm a bit on the fence about how it stretches to the edge, blurs it a little bit. But anyway, give us your opinion. Do you prefer videos like this or just left as they are from the VTX? There is some minor color adjustments done in the edit, just to make the vibrance a bit better in the video, bring the color out a little bit. And another thing too, the on-screen display, I'm now using a different program, put onto a new one that's come out from Sneaky FPV. He's created a new piece of software to overlay the on-screen display on top of the video, which is outstanding. It's the best one I've actually seen so far for Walksnail, and it gives you a lot of different options too over the other one I used to use. I'll leave a link down below for the page if anyone wants to download it. It does cost 15 Australian dollars to buy it, or you can download it for free, but you will have a watermark on your video. And we'll start venturing out and just see what can be done here. I really wish I had bought a chair to sit in, just so I'm not moving around, because there's horseflies around here as well as bugs, which is making me having to clean my legs from them. So at times I don't feel like I'm correctly facing the right direction the plane's in. So what I'll be keeping an eye on is the signal strength, the distance from home, and the bit rate down the bottom. So we're half a kilometre out now, signal strength 4. Gorgeous morning, really is a gorgeous morning. Like I said, it's a great place to fly, but yeah, you've really got to pick your right time of day. Early morning's the only time you'll get out here. I'll just put it in altitude hold for a moment, just to try and keep a constant height for a bit. So down to signal strength of 1, wow. And I'm only a kilometre away. All I can suggest is that I'm not facing the plane in this situation here. We're at 1.1 kilometres, signal strength of 2. So far very disappointing, but it could be my own fault here, not bringing a chair and having these bugs and flies around me really doesn't help. So approaching 1.5 kilometers now, still got signal strength of 2. Dropped down to 1 there. 1.5 kilometers. And it's a bit dicey. 1.6, 1.7 kilometers, signal strength of 2. Yeah, it's tough signal strength to 0, so I'm going to have to turn back here. 1.8 kilometers. Wow. I got a feeling it's just the way I'm positioned though. I've had to flick the goggles off a couple of times, and I haven't been standing in in the right position. The only thing I forgot was the chair to sit in. I really was expecting at least full signal strength out to a couple of kilometers. Well, at least 1.5 kilometers, just for the fact that we're over water and the radio frequencies are going to be bouncing off that water. So I'm a little bit shocked really that we're struggling here, still on signal 1 at 1,465 meters. Well, yeah, like I said, having patch antennas could be the problem. I'm not facing the right direction. What I'm going to have to do, I think, is if I can come back here when we get our clear weather again, I'll bring both aerials. I'll bring the True RCs, of course, and we'll test them up against the triple feed patch antennas, and I'll be sitting in a chair so that I'm not going to move. It's just hard because I'm constantly having to clear my legs from these horseflies and bugs that are around here. So while I'm flying around out here, one cool thing you can do with this new OSD software from Sneaky FPV is, instead of downloading and overlaying the video and the OSD in one video file, you can download a transparent file with just the OSD. So you can overlay it on top of the video file that you've got and do things like make your OSD disappear during the edit like this. Just an absolutely glorious morning. Okay, I'll flick into angle hold. I like angle hold actually. Is there anyone else like angle hold? I quite like it. Especially for these sort of planes where I'm not doing any flips. I think it's quite a nice mode. Battery voltage is down to 3.8 volts. Looks like my percentage is out in this flight for some reason, 85%. I should have a bit less than that. Anyway, not too worried about that. These goggles have been great. Don't get me wrong, I do like these goggles. The only thing that's disappointed me is the range. The range has always been a bit of an issue with these goggles. So the only way to sort of combat that is to try different aerials. So I'm not going to be going any dearer than the True RC X2 Airs. These should be able to do a lot further than what I've ever done before because of the price of them. They're an expensive aerial. So we're down to signal strength of 2 and we're only 350 meters away. Disappointing, really. I don't know what's going on here, other than the fact that the plane isn't in line of sight with the aerials. I'm not standing in the right direction. Approaching the kilometre mark now, we're down to signal strength of 2. That shouldn't be. Something's not right there. Signal strength of 2, 3, should be 4, I believe. It should still be at full strength. I'm on channel 7, so I'm not in pit mode or anything like that. And like I said before, we're running 500 milliwatts on the VTX. Yeah, it's disappointing. It's actually showing. It's actually performing worse. 1.1 kilometers, and I just saw signal strength of 1. What's going on? All I can say, guys, is that I'm in the wrong position because I'm not sitting in a chair. That's all I can think of. There's no reason that we would only be at signal strength of 2 at around that kilometre mark. Signal strength of 2 at 700 meters. I don't know what's going on. I must be flying behind myself in a way, or to the side of myself, because I was moving around a lot with these horseflies. And a couple of times when I did pull the goggles off, I noticed I was facing down the beach, not out to sea. So that's what I think the problem is. But nevertheless, we can enjoy a beautiful flight, I must say. It's gorgeous out here. Must try and get out here a bit more. It's a lot safer to do a bit of distance too, because you're over the water. There's no risk of harming anyone. So we do a little bit of low flying, 5 meters altitude. Battery levels down to 3.7 volts. And we're going to start lifting our altitude up now, and we'll try another attempt with some height and see if we can get a bit better than what we were before. I just don't like, we're at signal strength 1 and 2 and we're only 400 meters away. Now these goggles too were one of the first that Cadex made. One of the first batches jumped in and grabbed it. I'm not regretting that I got them, it's just that these do need the module on top for the head tracking, whereas the newer ones, it has been sorted out, so you'd expect the newer ones to perform better. Right, we're coming out to a kilometre now, and we're struggling again at signal of 2, signal of 1 at a kilometre, and we're up at 110 metres. It's hugely disappointing because this is performing worse than it did the other day when I was flying up into the mountain. I'm not sure why, it should be better. Cruising along at 60k an hour, that's airspeed. 50 kilometers an hour ground speed at about 80% throttle. .9 amps. Doesn't draw a great deal, but I am using a fair bit of power. Only thing you got to watch is the voltage, because you don't want to get down below that, too much below that 7 volts. So I have taken it down below 7 volts and it still runs fine. But yeah, it's a bit risky on 2S when the Speedy Bee F405 Wing Mini is rated to a minimum of 7 volts. Do need to be a bit careful. But so far so good. So we're heading back out, 120 meters now, so we'll keep up around here. Kilometre now, we've got signal strengths 3 now, and 2 we're hovering around at a kilometre. See how it holds here. Down to 1. Think I'm going to be lucky to beat what I did the other day. .4 kilometers away. Signal strength of 2. Bite rate of only 6 to 10. It's not great, that's for sure. Alright, we're approaching the 2 kilometre mark now, and our signal strength still hovering between 1 and 2. Floating up to 2. So there's a 2 kilometre mark, and signal strength of 1. It's just playing with it, isn't it, really? It's not a lot of confidence there in the strength of the signal. The bit rate is also only sitting around 6. It was. Okay, we're pushing out now to 2.5 meters, 2.5 kilometers. Signal strength's floating now to just 0 and 1, so you're not going to get much further. This is terribly disappointing. See if we can touch that 3K mark. And I don't think you're going to get much further than that here at all. It's really 0 signal. There's the 3 kilometre mark. Just really struggling at 0 signal. And 1 point, not even 2 byte megabits per second. 3.2 kilometers, signal strength of 1. That's about all. Yeah, that's disappointing. It is. I really thought we could shatter the 3 kilometer distance on the water, over the water. Then with these new aerials, it's I don't know what to say about that, guys. I'm not knocking True RC X2 Airs. I've seen what they can do, and they're a good aerial. But what I will do next time we do this, I'm going to come out here with a chair, so I'm sitting directly in front, and I'm going to try and fly directly out from me, so there's no loss of sight. And we'll also try the patch, the triple feed patch antennas too. So I've got 2 batteries for the Drift, and what I might do is charge both batteries up, and we'll use one battery for the X2 Airs and the other battery for the triple feed patch antennas, and just see what sort of difference we get in the same area. I mean, you can't say that triple feed patch antennas are a good value for their price, no doubt about that. If you can't afford or you don't want to pay the money for True RC X2 Airs, and the triple feed patches definitely do work, but I'm just a bit lost while we were struggling to really get much over 3K at all there. But anyway, we'll enjoy the flight now as we come back. Look at bringing the craft in now, because we are down to 3.4 volts, so that's putting us just under 7 volts at the moment, and yeah, kind of at risk. So we'll just enjoy the rest of this flight to a bit of music, and we'll see you in the flip side here when we land. So as we come in for our landing, other than the beautiful flight and the beautiful scenery we were at, I was very disappointed with it, to be honest. Let us know your thoughts on where I should go from here with it. Or any hints and tips you may think I'm missing. I don't know if I am though, but I'm open to any constructive sort of comments. And if you want to check out the telemetry, I'll leave it up on the screen there and you can go over the data from the flight. Have a good day, guys. Remember, inside and out the hobby can be done, so don't go dormant on the hobby if it's wet or if it's poor conditions. Do some inside work. Until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.